Memoir writers know that setting the tone for their memoir at the beginning of their memoir is very, very important. So they ask these questions. Did I create a context and a point of view for my reader? And how do I introduce a narrator and or character? What happens if you find that you're in square number 2? The writer wrote the beginning that not only sets the story in motion, it also grounds it in a place or a situation. It includes details that will later be important to the story. These details might also point to the central issue or conflict, show how story elements connect, or hint at key character traits. And you really want to get to star 3. This is when the writer wrote a beginning that establishes the situation in place, hinting at a bigger context for the story, revealing issues that have been brewing, showing how the setting affects the character, contextualizing a time in history, and developing one out of many points of view. So how do you get from a star 2 to a star 3? I want you to try this. Let's take a look. Here are 2 examples of a memoir. The first one's from Becoming, from Beyonce. It starts with, I started kindergarten at Bryn Mawr Elementary School in the fall of 1969. There's that specific time period. Showing up with the twin advantages of knowing in advance how to read basic words and having a well-liked second grade brother ahead of me. The school, a 4-story brick building with a yard in front, sat just a couple of blocks from our house on Euclid. Getting there involved a 2-minute walk, or if you did it like Craig, a 1-minute run. Immediately, the setting has been developed with time, conflict, and possibly some drama that's going to come up when she mentions something about having to know in advance how to read basic words. She also gives us details about where the school is a 4-story brick building, Euclid. So what you want to do is you want to give the where, the when, and the who. Give as many details as you can. What did it look like to you? What kind of reflections can you make about the place and the time and the people involved? You want to orient your reader. If you keep reading Michelle Obama's Becoming, you'll see that she goes into details about her teacher as well. Here's a little bit of a blurry example, but this is from the memoir called Thick by Macmillan Cotton. Here she starts out hers with, I'm writing this in a freezing house in Virginia during a bitterly cold winter because my heat is off. I have 3 space heaters ordered in a peak from Amazon Prime. And the oven door open. The oven door is country. The Amazon Prime is so middle class. All in all, it is very me. For perhaps the very first season in my life, I can afford heat and food and transportation and housing and the consumption of a good middle class person. My heat is not off because I can't pay, but because I forgot to pay. So here you'll understand that she not only puts us in a specific time and a specific place, but she adds a nuance to it that gives us a hint at what's coming up. Maybe something about being in middle class, something about not necessarily being in middle class before. So this is something you can try in your own writing. How do you make the setting uphold the conflict that you might be getting to later on in your memoir?